You have to be great at getting rapport with your customers if you want to make more money doing home improvement sales. Rapport and connection is huge because more rapport gives you more control. People you have great rapport with, like your friends, you can get them to give you money, while people you have no rapport with won't give you the time of day. Rapport is the difference between people fighting you versus enjoying you. It's also a big reason why you see salespeople who are not consistent in their sales, because if they get lucky and happen to get a bunch of leads that they can connect with, then they make sales. On the other hand, if through luck of the draw they happen to get people they can't connect with, then their sales slumps. Consistency is the key to greatness in anything, including sales. Your ability to rapport anyone will make you a lot more consistent in your sales and therefore your ability to make money consistently. Rapport skills when doing home improvement sales is crucial because selling in the home is different than any other sales because of the diversity of people and personalities we see. From old and young, blue collar to white collar, and rich and poor, the variety we see is as diverse as the human race. More than any other type of sales job you can do. One thing that's helped me get rapport with the greatest number of people is to learn to mirror or find the commonalities with your customer. Not just the things that everybody tells you like hobbies or weather, but the way they talk, like speech patterns, the way they communicate, and even their level of interest. In this video, we'll cover 4 mirroring techniques that have helped me, so please listen to the end to hear all 4 ways. By the way, if you like these videos, please show me by subscribing, and if you want more free home improvement sales training, check out my blog listed in the description below. The first way to connect is to mirror their speech patterns and the words that they use. For example, I talk really fast, and there's some people who talk slower. People who tend to talk slower generally don't trust people who talk fast, and sometimes people who talk fast think people who talk slower are not as smart as them. The first time I learned this, I'd grown up on the West Coast and talked fast, and then when I moved to the Deep South, I had a position selling there, and at the beginning, I couldn't sell anything. It was really hard because I'd be at the close and they'd still be in the rapport. They didn't trust me, and the rapport was stiff until I learned to slow myself way down and start telling people that it was going to be a whole lot of fun and fine as frog's hair. So when you first walk in a home, listen and adjust the speed of your conversation. Sometimes you can tell instantly if they're more deliberate and slow. Then my speech becomes more slow and deliberate, and if they talk fast and are boisterous, then I can be that way as well. So you not only have the speed of your speech, but also the way people talk. Great salespeople know that in the first few minutes when the door opens, whether they want to say, "How are you today, ma'am?" or "What up?" The whole concept behind this is that everybody thinks they're normal, but look how different everybody is. So the more you're like them, the more they like you because you're more normal, just like they are. It's not that you're being insincere. We all have different personality sides, quiet, loud, fast, etc. And I just bring out the side that matches the customer. You can even learn to mimic the words they use, such as when they're describing what they want. For example, if I'm selling a kitchen and they say they want their kitchen to look more cheerful and have a pop, or they want it to be sick. Then when actually selling them in the kitchen, I say things like, well, with having this new color, it's going to make your kitchen pop and look a lot more cheerful. Or how sick do you think this would look if it was all in white? In learning to communicate the way they do by the way they talk and the words they use, not only will the connection increase, but so will your sales and income. Now, the second thing to mirror is to find things in common, such as hobbies and likes and dislikes. Such as if you golf and you see golf clubs on the floor, you should have something to talk about. If you see they listen to the same type of jazz you do, it could be as simple as if they have the same type of wall coverings you have in your home, or even the same model and brand of TV. You get the idea. Just make sure you're being sincere and don't make it too generic like, you have to agree it's hot outside, isn't it? If it's not sincere, we'll come across as small talk that doesn't mean anything. Now, if you look on the wall and see that they graduated from the same college as you or the same high school, with that level of commonality, you should be good as gold. Finding things you have in common is as simple as being aware of your surroundings and seeing what's there. Now, the third thing to mirror is the way that people communicate. Studies on neurolinguistic programming show that people communicate in different ways. There are 3 different ways people communicate. Some people are visual, some people are audio, and some people are feeling, or what they call kinesthetic. Visual people you can recognize because they tend to say things like, well, it looks good to me, or I like what I'm seeing. Now, audio people tend to say the same thing, but they say it by saying, it sounds good to me, I hear what you're saying. And then people who are kinesthetic or feeling say things like, it feels right to me. You can recognize what type of person you're talking to not only by the words they use, but by their actions. If they're a visual person like me, you can tell because if you're telling me something, a lot of times when I'm listening, I'm looking up to the left almost because I'm visualizing what you're telling me. In the old days, when we used to use presentation books, I knew I was talking to a visual because while I was talking, they'd be looking at the book more and sometimes even start turning the pages as I was talking because I knew they weren't hearing what I was saying, but they were looking at what I was saying. So when you learn on what level people communicate, I communicate to them on that level. Such as when getting commitments, if they're a visual person, I'll say, does this look like the type of company you'd feel comfortable doing business with? Or does this look like the type of HVAC system you want to put in your home? If they're audio, I'll say, does this sound like the type of window you want to put in your house? Or does this sound like the type of kitchen that you'd want to put in your house? And then obviously if they're kinesthetic, I'll say, does this feel like the type of company that you'd feel comfortable doing business with? This information is also helpful because if you know they tend to be more visual, you need to show plenty of pictures like before and after, and with kinesthetics, you need to have samples that they can touch and feel. When you start to connect on this level, your sales skills will go to the next level. Now, the fourth thing that I like to mirror is their level of interest that they initially show me. Sometimes when you first meet somebody, they don't show you a high level of interest. Well, I don't know, I just got the phone call. Or I saw the thing in the mail, I mailed it in, but I don't know if I really need to do anything yet. Or I was just clicking and I thought maybe sometime in the future I'd need to replace my roof. I think it helps to mirror that level of interest. In other words, they're more low-key, so you do the same as well by saying things like, well, that's good because the estimate I'm giving you is good for 90 days. And actually, I'm glad that you're not in a hurry. That way you won't be pressuring me like everybody else to get the job done tomorrow. We can have some fun. I can just show you what we do. And hopefully if you ever decide to do anything, then you hire us based on the information I leave you. Okay? Match or mirror their level of interest. Don't be like the typical salesperson where when they get that response from the customer, they say, well, what do you mean you're not serious? Well, if we can make it affordable, then would you have to wait? Then you seem desperate and the customer is already wary of salespeople, starts to feel pressure, and you're losing before you even get started. The reality is that in most cases, this low level of interest being shown initially is just the customer closing you, so you don't pressure them. It's like you saying, I'm just looking to the salesperson when you really do want to buy a car that day. Their sales resistance is high. So by matching their perceived level of interest, it'll help lower that guard. Now, trying to go higher than their interest with your desire to sell them will raise their sales guard even higher. That's why matching the level of interest or desire they show me at the beginning helps me get a connection with the person faster. And the rapport then gives me the control to create and amplify the level of need and desire I need to do my job. Oh, by the way, that's called selling. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Now, if you like this video, please watch the video below on features and benefits or the playlist I have on closing. Happy selling!